Okay, so we'll see how this goes. I don't have any editing software or anything, so you're going to get what you're given. Okay, so here's my little ribbing that I've knitted on my DPNs. And I've got two other colours here. You probably can't see the black. It's a bit of a nightmare colour on camera, isn't it? But never mind. So I've already got my white connected. So I'm going to start knitting with my purple. I think, hopefully you'll remember I said before, it doesn't actually matter where you start. So I'm just going to start at the beginning of needle 1. And Margot's coming up to join us. And hopefully you can see. So I'm just going to knit across 2 needles. How well you can see this. Maybe I can knit up a bit. Okay, so there's needle 1 finished. You can tell I don't normally use DPNs, can't you? Oh, I've already left a... Never mind, I'll pick that up in a bit. Spot the deliberate error. And here's needle 2. And at this point, I'm going to knit all the way up and join the black. Now, normally you would slip 3 stitches, but on this starting row, I don't actually care if my first coloured stitch gets pulled out of tension, gets pulled a bit smaller, because that's where my little jog is, where you join the new colour. So I'm just going to start knitting without slipping any stitches. Just makes it easier. So now I'm going to knit across 2 needles with my black. In fact, no, I'm not. I'm going to go 3 short, aren't I? So I'm going to knit up 2, certainly across this one. And I'll try and stop in a second and show you a bit more clearly, hopefully. Let's bring this needle in now that I've messed up. So my next colour, I've got all my colours joined now, and the next colour I want to knit with is this white one, which is connected to this stitch here, just before the purple. So I'm going to stop 3 stitches short of that. So I'm going to carry on with my black until I get to 3 stitches short of my white. How well can you see that with all my fingers in the way? Probably not very. Okay, so there we are, 3 stitches short. I'm going to slip those 3 white stitches. No, I'm not, sorry. I'm going to bring in my other needle that I left behind a minute ago. I'm going to slip those 3 white stitches. And then here's my white yarn, which is already getting tangled. I'll just undo that tangle. Here's my white yarn now, ready to be knitted across the purple. Oh crikey, it's really small, isn't it? Stop making that awful noise. And my purple goes across this needle and the next one. So I can knit all the way to the end of this needle. Oh my god, I hope this is going to be useful to you. Knitting with my white, knitting with my white. And the purple, which is my next colour I'm going to knit with, that's the next yarn that I can see, which is connected to this last stitch. So I'm going to knit with my white until I get to 3 stitches from the end of the purple. So I'm just trying to think of other ways to describe this, because hopefully you can see that this white where we slipped it is on, well, no, I'm just going to confuse it, aren't I, Sharp Jackie? Let's just focus on this. So there's my last 3 stitches of purple, so I'm going to slip those. I'm going to pick up my purple yarn, which is also tangled. Here it is. Put my purple on top. Gosh, this is why I don't like DPNs. It's all too much for me. Too much pointy things and too many tangles. Okay. So now I'm starting to knit over my black with my purple. So we've got 1 row of white there. Can you see that? Got 1 row or part a row of white, part a row of black, and now we're going to work on a bit more purple. So we're working all 3 rows at the same time, all 3 colours at the same time. So I can knit all the way to the end of this needle. Okay, and then we're going to look at our work, look at our next set of stitches, and you can see the black, hopefully you can see, no you can't see at all. So I was knitting with purple, my black doesn't end until here, hopefully you can just see the white starting there, so my black ends here, so I'm going to stop 3 stitches short of my next colour black. I'm going to knit with. Oops. Three stitches short. Slip those 3 stitches. Now I'm going to leave my purple behind because we don't need it anymore. And I'm going to pick up my black, which is right at the front, ready to be knitted. Just do 1 more. So now I'm knitting with black over white, which means white will be the next colour that I work with. My black is catching up to my white, but the white's going to beat it. All the way to the end of this needle. I'm going to get to my next needle. I'm going to stop and have a look, and I can see that my, let's see if I can get that on camera better, my white ends here. Got 3 purple stitches there, so this is where I need to start knitting with my white yarn. So the black is going to try and catch it up and stop 3 stitches short. Oh, not even on camera now. And there's my 3 stitches. So I'm going to slip those 3 white stitches, drop my black because I can't knit with that anymore without dragging it across. Pick up my white, which is sitting right at the front of the 3 stitches I've just slipped. Let's see if I can undo some of this tangle before I start again. Bring my white on top. Okay. Drop my stitches. Pick them up again. Now I'm going to start knitting with the white over purple. So now the white is trying to catch up with the purple. And the purple doesn't end till all the way around here, so I've got to knit all across this needle. And the white is chasing the purple. Oops, sorry, gosh, this is funny. Never work with animals, children and DPNs. Okay, so my white is almost caught up with my purple, but I've got a few more stitches to go. Okay, so now we've got 3 purple stitches. I can slide those across. Drop my white because I can't use that now unless I drag it across. Pick up my purple that's sitting at the top of the stitch there, ready to go, and start chasing the black. So the purple is now knitting over the top of the black. I'm just looking to see, yeah, so you can see there that we've got a row of black that looks like it's probably almost finished. We've got a purple row next, which if you look over on this needle is sitting on the needle still, so we're still working that row. And we've got our white sitting on this needle, which is there. So if I were to put this down, we talked about that yesterday, if I were to put this down and not know where to start, it's a bit hard on DPNs, I suppose, because it is possible that you could have a yarn starting on 2 needles, but I clearly haven't, but I could start knitting with any of these, I think. No, I couldn't, because I can't knit that without moving those. So I've got to knit this purple one. That's the only one that I can actually get to. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to stop now. You can give me marks out of 10. I'm just going to watch this back and see if it makes sense.